The controversial arrest of Mahesh and Anita Battle, a couple that were picked at night from their Lavington home by the DCI, is something that is still being talked about. And it's really eliciting a lot of fears. Because let me tell you something. If someone can be picked from Lavington at night, what about the ordinary Kenyans who live in the other estates? Maybe you're living in Madare or Kibra. I'm just talking about estates that are not so lavish like Lavington, Kileleshwa and all that. Because take it from me, if someone can afford to live in Lavington, number one, this person has money, has got some influence and all that. Now, if this is the kind of a person who can be picked at night, then you know what it means if you're not in the caliber of the cream of the society. But Kenyans were asking just one question. Was there a warrant of arrest that gave the DCI the full authority to arrest this 74-year-old couple in the middle of the night? And the judiciary was under pressure to clarify their role in this arrest, because the government must have a coordination and things must be done in the right way. Now the judiciary has clarified this issue because it's coming against the backdrop of accusations against Martha Koome and the judiciary. People are saying that Martha Koome is never independent. They are playing to the gallery. They are dancing to the tune of certain masters. They are taking instructions from some people. The judiciary on Monday weighed on the controversial arrest of an elderly couple in Lavington over a disputed parcel of land. In a statement, the judiciary revealed that no court orders were issued with respect to the property in question earlier reported. The judiciary clarified and they gave a full statement saying that this dispute, the land dispute, was registered in Environment and Land Court. And the complainants are Mahesh Kumar and the wife there, Anita Battle, who wanted the court to declare that they jointly own that land. And the case is against Malkiat Singh and Munir Ahmed. Munir Ahmed is a Kenyan, but is living in the UK. So basically, these are two families that are fighting over a parcel of land. The DCI and the judiciary are giving contradicting statements, because the DCI had indicated that Munir Ahmed, who is living in the UK, had been denied entry into that land. But I don't want to go there. Our main discussion here today is about the judiciary clarifying that there was no warrant of arrest, yet the DCI moved with speed to arrest a couple without a court order. So what does this show you? Because we are living in a country that is, every moment when you look at our country, we are degenerating into a constitutional crisis, because the government of the day does not want to protect our constitution that people really fought for. But if you look at the government, you will realize that just as the DCI's office is never independent, it is taking instructions. Our government, the national government itself, is never independent. We are living under the mercy and instructions of the international community. We do that which America wants. For those who follow this channel, I have been shouting from the rooftops about worshipping the USA. The other day they were speaking with authority that the 2022 election was free and fair. And they are telling us to accept the GMO, and they are telling us to accept the LGBTQ and all this. The IMF and the World Bank will always continue to give us instructions on how to run our economy, increasing taxes. They're telling us that the wage bill is just too high and we need to retrench, and all these kind of things, removal of subsidies. So the national government itself is never independent. And so it trickles down even to the judiciary and to the DCI. So the DCI will always take orders instead of upholding the independence of that very sacred office. It did start today. I remember the former DCI told the nation that he was being compelled by the Uhuru regime to arrest, people based on their political ideologies. Something that, if it's true, then must also be condemned. We don't need to perpetuate bad characters, that an independent institution is taking orders from the executive. And so this only goes a long way to prove that we are way behind. We are talking about the democratic space. We do not have democracy yet. Meg Whitman says that Kenya is one of the most democratic countries. I don't think we are enjoying our democracy because independent institutions are being used. Now, we also see a situation where the DCI's office is not respecting court orders, because the judiciary clarified that they had given orders restraining any other interested party from interfering with the Lavington home. Yet we saw goons who came under the protection of the police, and they started erecting some structures there in the night. You see, whenever there is a court order, that court order must be respected, because this case is in court. It needs to be given time so that it ends soon. I've mentioned here again and again, issues are very emotive and they are dating way back. They are part and parcel of the historical injustices. And one thing that I keep on crying about is that this government and our parliament, led by the two speakers, Moses Wetangula of the National Assembly and Amason Kingi of the Senate, must fast-track the implementation of the reports like Ndungu reports, so that we don't need to be, we are sitting on a time bomb. At one point, we are invading Uhuru's northern farm because we are told the first family grabbed the land that was supposed to be given to many people, now squatters. At another point, we see goons going to Eldoret to invade some Kipchoge Kino's land. Then you hear in Lavington, and I know there are many others. Sometimes there was another one in Mombasa. Every day, people kill each other because of land. And there are a lot of cases, lying in courts. And the courts must also fast track so that we have timelines for these cases. So our two speakers must lead the parliament to ensure that we compel William Ruto to open the Ndungu reports, to understand what happened, so that we can move forward. Otherwise, if we still sit on them, then we will still, witness such kind of cases. The courts must also be trusted. I told you the other day that we do not trust our courts because they are also being compromised. They will always rule in favor of the highest bidder. And sometimes people like Ahmed Nasir have always complained about this, saying that we'd never have an independent institution. So most of these institutions have been captured by the state. They have been also captured by the rich and the mighty in the society. So in this case, you might find that maybe the DCI was given a high-profile call, maybe from one of the government officials, who is also very friendly to this guy who is living in UK, so that they can interfere, take by force parcel of part of the land that they are claiming. If we are not very careful, this country will be left to the dogs, and each and every person will be taking laws into their hands, and it is not very good for us. I come from a place where people like fish, but we say that when fish is rotten from the head, the whole body shall rot. And we have a government that is rotten from the head. They are never independent, and so you don't expect the other institutions to be independent. They take instructions from the Western masters. You also expect the other independent institutions to take instructions from them. Then we are not fighting corruption, because corruption is part and parcel of our problem. The highest bidder always wins, because the government is also very corrupt from the head. And so it all lies within Ruto's purview. He issues a lot of stern warning. He will deal with corrupt people, but we don't see it happening. Our president likes talking. He likes giving us music. He knows what to speak, where, how to do it, and people will be clapping and giving him a standing ovation, but he does not act. It is time he walks the talks so that he can put this country to order. We need order and sanity, because everything is in shambles. It's not, we don't have any order at all in every department. And so with the judiciary clarifying that there was no court order, we really need to know, is there any action that can be taken against government officials who also don't respect court orders, who also act in breach of our constitution? And I don't know what to think, but that is my take.